When Jagex releases a new boss or region in the game, there's a cheating gold rush to get the first bot scripts or cheat plugins out to exploit new moneymakers or trading methods as fast as possible. Scripters want to cash in, and cheaters want to farm gold at crazy GP per hour rates and participate in the XP race. So, when Jagex announced old school RuneScape's first new skill, sailing, I knew it was going to create a massive demand vacuum for sailing bots and services for cheaters to fill. We've never had a new skill released, so this is the first time we can analyze how the cheating community exploits it, or attempts to. And unlike every other update, there is a significant new movement system for botters to contend with. In fact, what I thought would be a gold rush got off to an incredibly slow start with basically no cheats launched within the first 3 days of the sailing skills release. The scripters were struggling with the movement system. One botter told me there were delays with scripts because some of the main botting clients were not accurately reporting the XY coordinates, the tile locations, when a player is in the water. Another botter mentioned problems with the sheer number of neighbors, the number of quarter tiles that each quarter tile is adjacent to, making pathfinding algorithms much more expensive than on land. All of this meant that the first scripts publicly released just ignored movement and were all, of course, salvaging scripts. The scripts wouldn't even navigate with the boat anywhere. They're just simple salvaging bots, and you have to be on a salvaging spot for the script to work. These all launched 5 days after sailing's release, and some did include a 1.5 tick training method using tick manipulation to salvage things faster. From what I can tell, the scripts are relatively popular. The site claims around 1,000 people have tried each of these salvaging bots that came out early on. Sorting by recently released scripts on the site, it seems non-sailing scripts get between 10 to 100 users in roughly the same amount of time. So there is definitely a large wave of demand coming in and trying out the first scripts launched. These scripts also have a unique pricing model. They cost around 5 cents per hour to run. So if 1,000 people were running the same script, the botter would be making $50 per hour. Although, my guess is that that number is significantly lower. So, after these scripts launched, from lurking around in the discords, it seems as though there was a huge ban wave for people botting 1.5 tick salvaging. Some maxed mains were even caught doing it as well, and other maxed mains were caught up in it. There seemed to be some potentially false bans if you were 1.5 tick salvaging in the first week of launch, likely due to the detection system learning to distinguish between these new bots from actual players. We have to fast forward all the way to roughly 3 weeks after sailing's release to see the first public standalone sailing script that wasn't just salvaging, at least the first one I could find. And the script added working navigation, so the bot could actually navigate to the shipwrecks and upgrade the boat, and the bot could do delivery missions. But the trials, the fastest sailing XP method, was not included still. So I reached out to the scripter of the bot, and we'll get into that right after this. I'm so excited to announce the sponsor of today's video, Patrick Adair Designs, the maker of incredible handcrafted rings. These rings are made by trained artisans with really unique, exotic materials like meteorite, glowstone, titanium, even diamonds and dinosaur bone. There are hundreds of different rings to choose from on their site, and they have a perfect fit guaranteed. They'll send you a ring sizing kit before they make your order to ensure that it fits. And you can actually customize your own ring by selecting specific types of materials. I was able to make one. I selected titanium, meteorite inlay materials with some white glow, and it comes in a really nice box, and the ring turned out really nicely. Patrick Adair Designs is running their annual holiday sale, and for a limited time, customers can get a buy one, get one free site-wide. This offer works with any 2 designs or products. You can also get an extra 10% off your order with code SIRPUGGER. So click the link in the description, and thank you to Patrick Adair Designs for sponsoring this video. So I reached out to the maker of the first public sailing bot that could navigate. I asked first about what features botters were requesting related to sailing. Were they more GP methods, more XP focused, or what? And shockingly, the scripter said, literally nobody has requested a single sailing feature. Not one, not a joke. No one even requested a sailing script either. So then I asked how many people had even purchased the script so far, and he of course didn't give me exact numbers, but said it's, quote, quite unpopular. So you might be wondering, why is this guy showing footage of all the different sailing bots being developed, but not footage of bots he's caught in game? And there are 2 reasons. Reason numero uno. If 2 boats are on top of each other, you can only see the top boat, and you can't right click to see all of the other boats and players underneath them. There could be 500 players on top of each other, and only the top one is visible. And if you're on them, none of them are visible. So to find bots salvaging, for example, you have to get really lucky. They have to be the top one. But there's a lot more activities than salvaging, so there's one other reason. The bots are really just being ran for XP, not GP, meaning they're being botted on all sorts of accounts with different XP patterns and gear, so they'd be almost impossible to recognize even if you could see them. Of course, I'm sure there are bot farms being prepared for some activities related to sailing. I got a tip about a frost dragon bot spotted killing frost dragons with magic, and it has since gained over 15 million magic XP and nothing else in 12 days since the tip. It still has base 70s melee stats, 87 sailing, and well over 99 magic with basically no other stats. Frost dragons are 1.7 million GP per hour and will probably drop a little bit more than that. And with an 87 sailing requirement and lots of alternative moneymakers with lower requirements and higher GP per hour, it's not yet overrun by bots and might not be anytime soon. There are also some relatively unpopular scripts for other activities related to sailing that will never really take off, like thieving cannonballs. I was not able to find any bot farms definitively there yet, but I was able to find a script for it that has around 100 users, and the thieving method here gets you like 160k XP per hour, but only a few hundred k GP per hour, so it's not really worth it to a botter. The bottom line is Jagex released a massive amount of new content that has no new metas, but is also absolutely refreshing and not dead on release. And we come to that conclusion based on the combination of the amazing reception of the update by the community and the lack of cheating opportunities. Now let's look at other ways people are profiting off of sailing in the black market. I got a tip that someone is making a huge amount of money creating accounts to sell with a link to their profile on one of the many marketplaces for these things. Right away, I notice on their profile it says their past 30 days sales are greater than 8,000 US dollars. Maybe I missed this before, but I never thought sellers' revenue was public on these sites. We'll get back to that, but this person specializes in selling hardcore Ironman accounts ranging from $130 to $300. Hardcore Ironman accounts with 99 fishing, cooking, firemaking, farming, hunter, and magic go for around $300, and apparently these account sales are pretty popular. Real players are buying the accounts to get started faster. This seller has over 1,000 total sales, and from the reviews, it seems like they're basically all Ironman account sales. Now, I won't make wild accusations, but there are really two possibilities behind this $200,000 hustle. Either these accounts are all botted and the seller is making a killing, or the seller is running an absolute sweatshop. These accounts would take so long to make, hundreds and hundreds of hours. So much so that paying someone even $3 per hour would be a money-losing business. Plus, lots of these skills aren't AFK enough to play on more than 2 or 3 accounts at once. I would assume these accounts have been botted, or someone in a developing country is being paid less than $1 per hour. And of course, not only is buying a non-botted account bannable, but buying an account that was probably fully botted up to turn into your main hardcore Ironman is a pretty silly decision. But then I thought, this isn't even a tier 5 seller, it's a tier 4 seller. So I found a tier 5 seller. There are actually tons. The black market for RuneScape is huge. But the one I found basically sells labor and has 9,000 completed orders. So tier 5 sellers are making at least $15,000 per month, and this seller had listings like 30 hours of whatever you want, with the labor rate set at $3 per hour for non-AFK tasks, which means the actual worker, if it's not a bot, is getting less than that. And this seller definitely cashed in on sailing's release. 1 to 99 sailing cost $492, and I did see at least one review related to it, as in somebody bought it. But there were dozens of reviews for expensive sailing related orders. So just because bot farms aren't cashing in on new money-making methods doesn't mean the black market isn't cashing in. Black market services are surfing the demand wave for sailing XP, fueled by, well, the community's lack of time or laziness. Now, on the 23rd of December, I got a tip that there were hundreds of bots in World 417 south of Falador, so I hopped in. There was a constant stream of accounts from the Falador Bank walking south, all level 37 or 38, equipping nothing. They led me to a group of yew trees in Rimington near the house portal. Past lots of other yew locations, by the way, which is a little odd, and you can't argue it's a more hidden location because this bot farm is absolutely not hiding. There are lots of other bots in this farm across the worlds, but not quite as many as 417. There's definitely over 150 of them in 4.17, and my guess is probably 1,500 to 2,000 across all of the free-to-play worlds. They have all 30 melee stats and between 85 to 100 woodcutting. Let's calculate how many logs the bots in World 4.17 are cutting per hour by counting how many accounts go to bank their inventory of logs per minute. After reviewing the footage, 19 accounts went to bank in the last 60 seconds. I did the exercise a couple more times and got 17 and then also got 20. So let's just go with 19. So on this world alone, the botter is collecting 19 inventories of U logs per minute, which is 532 logs, or 31,920 U logs per hour. If we wanted to multiply by 160 GP per log, on this world, the botter is making 5.1 million GP per hour. Lower than I would have expected, actually. All of these bots in this world are producing roughly one really high-level member's bot worth of gold. A classic suicide bot farm that seems to have popped up suspiciously over Christmas when Jagex may not be at their computers.